Let them hear my words. Let them touch each one of their spirits. It's time for them to do the work. In the name I pray, I say amen. What's going on, guys? It's been a while since I put a message out for the fellas. First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to hear and see my videos. You know, it's ironic how life every day has a lesson that is to better you, but due to our day-to-day responsibilities, life has a way of clouding or distracting the things of importance, such as ourselves. So I wanted to take the time out and put a message out for the fellas, from one friend to another. Fellas, have you noticed that either your life has a lot of intrigue or chaos, and no matter what you do, there is a setback after setback after setback after setback, and just disappointment. There's a reason why we as men deal with the things that we do. See, society has a way of conveying a message to men that we are supposed to function a certain way. We are supposed to be the provider. We are supposed to be the comforter. We are supposed to be the security, as well as the one that makes everything all right. And by doing so, we forget this one, the most important one, and that's being true to yourself. So if you're going through things right now, and your heart might be in the right place, or your heart may be in the right place, but your actions do not reflect it, there is a reason why you are faced with what you are faced with. See, we are spiritual beings. First and foremost, what you see here, what you feel here, is only a means to navigate through life. Now, I know you're wondering, well, Gerald, I didn't take this time to listen to spiritual enlightenment. No. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. See, I don't have an invested interest in your life. I don't. And at any time, you can cut this off. So I hope that you take this time to hear what I'm trying to convey, so that you can navigate your life to your destiny. It's required. And if you do so, not only will you have the life that you want, but you will also have balance. And if you have balance, you will have peace of mind. And if you have peace of mind, you are exhibiting consistency. And that is a trait that women find very appealing, because it is not what you're saying, but it's your actions you're reflecting. So I hope that you take the time to hear what I'm trying to convey to you. Now, let's go back. Think back when you were a child. Remember how you had this wide spectrum of things that you wanted to do. There was endless possibilities. You may want to be a fireman or or an astronaut or a policeman or whatever your dreams may want to be. But as you aged, you were starting to condition yourself to life's disappointments. You were starting to inundatedly embrace the negatives because it was based on the mindset or the maturity level of these challenges. I'm here to tell you guys, you gotta unlearn those things. Those are nothing but beliefs that were taught from our lineage, our family structures, our experiences of what we have been exposed to. So you're saying, well, Gerald, well, I'm trying to do the best I can with what I got. Okay. Now let me ask you this. For where you are right now, can it be better? And if so, what are you willing to do to start the ball rolling? May it be, maybe you want to return back to school. Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you want to have a better relationship with your family. Well, before you can even look at that, you've got to do one important thing, fellas. It is not easy being a man. And unfortunately, for those who fail, really don't have the entitlement of to be called men. See, look at society. Once again, society is teaching men to become women. And in turn, women are losing faith in us. Yes. I'm all for anyone going after their dreams. But it should not come by the hands of manipulation, vindictiveness, pride, and that big one, ego. It shouldn't be that way. Because those things right there will not only give you the things that you don't want in your life, but it's actually blocking the things that you do need in your life. Except like a loving relationship, a fruitful job, to have that security of that home, or whatever the materialistic desires that you want. So look at yourself right now. Excuse me. Are you being the stunt man in your life, or are you the star? Because you have to sit down and truly look within yourself and say, self, number one, I love me. Number two, whatever challenges that I have before me, let this be the day that I have the self-control and patience to conquer those challenges. And to do that, you cannot walk in fear. You can't. You can't have a position of saying, oh, well, if things was this, or if I could have did that, shoulda, coulda, woulda, will never give you happiness. It won't. What happens is when people take a position, men, us, when we take a position of that merit, you're basically saying, I'm settling for the life that I don't want. And guess what? You got a responsibility as a man. If it's, I mean, let me break this down to you. I know there's some guys I know there's some fellas right now looking at this, and you say, well, you know what? I'm ashamed for the things that I may have done, and I don't know if I can ever get this resolved. Well, first of all, you got to undo that belief. You have to. You can undo anything that you want to do except for death. But it all starts when you change your mindset. If, for the fellas that are fathers, listen, I done been there, brother. If you're not actively in your child's life, get back in your child's life. Yes, you are going to have to do some work to repair time lost. But guess what? Your child or children need that. They need that nurturement that's required to be called father. Stop allowing your fears to block your happiness of watching your children grow, because see, they're extensions of you. You know that term generational curse? All that is a mindset that was passed from one generation to the next. So make this day the day that you change that. Check your ego. Now, I'm going to tell you something. And no disrespect, but I got to put it this way. When I was in the service, I had one of my colleagues tell me something that stuck with me a long time, to this day. And he said, you know, a father's role, especially if he has a daughter, is to keep her off the pole. And at first I kind of chuckled, but I thought about it. Because see, a woman's first experience of what a man is through her father. And what happens is, by you not being there, she will embrace a mindset of what she thinks a man is. And she will go on a journey trying to have this image, which will only usher in pain, disappointment, and connections that should have never been there. So there, as the protector, you got to do your work. Pick the phone up. Do whatever you got to do to let your children know that you care. Do not allow your fear to block another day of you not connecting with your child. You're doing them a disservice. And actually, you're doing a disservice to your legacy. And you deserve better than that. You do. For those fellas that are struggling with the job market, fellas, keep pushing. Stay true to your integrity and your character. Do not give up on yourself. See, what you don't realize is, when you decide to give up on yourself, you accept the things that you don't want. The relationships and extensions of those relationships are ushered into your life, which brings no satisfaction. The reason for that is because you don't know you. So if you don't know you, how can you really foster a healthy relationship with the people that you are connected to? Take that time to find yourself and rediscover who you are. See, society never put out a proper positive image of what it takes to be a man. But they're quick. They're really, really quick to say what men are not doing. Every negative concept you can. Well, guess what? Don't fall for the okie doke. Shallow mind, having a shallow mind attracts shallow people. Being a positive person attracts positive people. That's why like-mindedness is so paramount. It goes together. But before you can even embrace having that insight through your experiences, you gotta love yourself. And to truly love yourself, it is time to forgive yourself. Yes. Listen, see, don't fall for the okie doke where generations past society says, no, you can, as a man, you're not supposed to embrace your emotions. If that means you got to let out the pain, let it out, brother. Because all that does is poison you and poison everything that is connected with you. Sure, we're going to have some setbacks. Sure, we're going to have some disappointments. But guess what? Even those things can be made new. And anything that's worth value is worth the sacrifice. That's why it's called self-worth. The last thing you want to do is emulate what you see on TV. Don't you realize that that is nothing but exploitation? You're being exploited. Yes, you turn around, you see something that, just like a child, like a little baby that cries, a little distractor, and you want to run out there and grab it. Because your self-esteem and self-worth is saying, if I do this, I can have acceptance and feel whole. Let me tell you something. You'll never find what you see. It'll always be fleeting. That means it's temporary. Check this out. Look at the celebrities. Look at them. They have access to financial gain. They're wealthy. But oh, do they have problems. You would think in your mind, if I had this opportunity, I would do this or do that. Well, you cannot do this or do that unless you're grounded. And to be grounded, you must see your self-worth and value. So start loving yourself. Forgive yourself. Find yourself. And when you do that, oh man, your blessings will come. But you got to walk humble. You got to truly value your time. You are on this planet for a short period of time. And what you do with that time will be remembered. That is why it's called your legacy. So let go of the fears, my brothers. Pick up your self-respect. Stop going by life like it's a game. Because you know what happens when you go through life as a game? You play yourself. Now let's look at it on relationships, because I'm going longer than I want. If you have someone that you've made a connection to, first of all, let me show you something. See, God gave you the ability to see a woman's worth. You have the ability to see her potential through spirit first. That's why it is important to understand what being yoked is about. The two spirits coming together as one. And that is something a woman will never be able to understand, even though she may try. That's why the Bible says, when a man seeketh a woman, it is good. It does not say when a woman seeketh a man. Because when a woman seeketh a man, she never finds what she seeks. It's always a want. That's why your higher power, my higher power is my Lord Jesus Christ, will always supply you what you need and not what you want. But you have to embrace who you are. And see, and here's the funny thing. You know the person that you really want to be? The person that you desire and want to release to the world? That's your inner child. That little boy. And he's screaming out really, really bad, hey, come back to me. You forgot me a long time ago and I need you to reconnect. But you can't reconnect until you start loving yourself, start forgiving yourself, and stop playing yourself. You can't go through life just sleeping with everybody. You can't go through life manipulating people, playing on emotions. I'm a player. No, you playing yourself. And when it's all said and done, you see it with the celebrities all the time. They're broke, emotionally bankrupt, and by themselves. Don't fall for that, man. Society won't tell you that. It's time to man up. It's time to do the work. Now here's a good thing. I'm a firm believer that God gives you the ability to foster relationships that will always be in your life. There are people that come in your life to teach you things, guide you to where you need to be through positive motivation. And then there are some that are going to be in your life. They're there for a reason. It's a part of your legacy. And it is their position because they are going to watch you evolve, transform into the man you are destined to be. It's just like a flower. A flower can't bloom unless you plant the seeds. The seeds is your self-respect, your integrity, and character. So stop falling for what you see outside your door, because you'll never find happiness in it. It is time to do the work. Because if you don't, what is going to happen is time is going to continue to move on. The things that you value will slip from your grasp. And you will have to grapple with life knowing that you could have changed whatever that you were trying to do purely. But if you don't, all your blessings will go to someone else. That connection will go to someone else. That opportunity will disappear. And you will be alone. Listen, we were born on it. We came into this world by ourselves. We are going to go by ourselves. But we're not supposed to live our lives by ourselves. Start loving yourself. You deserve it. Stop. You're doing yourself such a disservice. And really, you're failing the generation behind you. Be the man that we know we're supposed to do. Because we've got generations that are looking up to us and we're failing them. And in turn, they're failing themselves. And thus far, that's where that generational curse phrase comes from. Because we're not being men. Love your women. Love the one that's in your life. See, you got to remember something. Rome was not built in a day, but it still stood the test of time because it was built right with the right foundation. and that is your character and integrity. I know some of you right now are like, I ain't trying to hear that, bro. Well, I wish you well. And I hope that whatever experiences that you have in life have mercy on you, because you're going to go through some things that could have been avoided, but you chose to fool yourself. But for those that are hearing my voice, fellas, it is time to do the work. It's time to let the illusion go and be who you are destined to be. You got to do it, man. You got to stop selling yourself short. And if you guys got, for the fathers out there, step up. Step up. Don't worry if you're not with them, if you're not with your child's mother. Look, her happiness is her happiness. You do what you're required to do as a father. And long as she is happy, you'll be happy. And then eventually the communication will solidify. But you still have to do what you need to do. Okay? Alright, fellas. Thank you for taking the time to hear my message to you. From one distant friend to another. Because, see, a friend is going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And if you have people in your life that are going with the flow and not growing with you, it's time for you to reassess. But the beautiful thing about that is they too can grow as well. So be that example, okay? God's praying for you. You know I am. Stay blessed.